Over the past few weeks, I've seen a lot of hate directed towards Batwoman in both the TV and real life. On the show, Kate was being shipped with this Captain America stereotype dude, their words. After seeing how far a high school student was willing to go because of her parents rejecting her sexuality, Kate, as Batwoman, decides to come out. Before that, there was an episode where Kate and Sophie were asked to leave from a restaurant because of their sexuality. In the latest Batwoman episode, Alice's Wonderland gang kidnaps two important individuals from Gotham's prominent families. The commissioner of the GCPD refuses to call Batwoman and claims that they are trying to avoid being political, despite his own son being one of the individuals kidnapped. One might think that they are making assumptions when saying that him not calling Batwoman has to do with her coming out as a lesbian, but it is confirmed in the episode by his own son that his father is a homophobic. Usually after an episode, I would go to Tumblr and post my thoughts and read what other people think, and that has been good. The Tumblr community has been really LGBT positive, especially for the Arrowverse as a whole. But a few days ago, I had the displeasure of clicking on a YouTube review of the episode. And most of the people here on YouTube seem to think that the show Batwoman, which is about Kate Kane, a woman and a lesbian, is focusing too much on those issues. While I haven't really seen much against Kate specifically, the comments that I read said that Batwoman is too political, or that the female characters of the show, Supergirl and Batwoman, ruin the show. The female characters of the show called Supergirl and Batwoman ruin the show. So I'm here to present to you why these reviews and comments are complete horseshit. One thing I've heard YouTubers say is, what was the point of having Batwoman come out as a lesbian? Well, the same one they made on the show, representation. To make people from the LGBT community feel seen and heard, especially with a character who is a lesbian even in the comics, a woman who used to be in the military and got thrown out because of who she loved. You might be wondering, it's 2020, stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. Maybe it doesn't happen around you? Remember, you are not the world. And while it is good that such an accepting place exists, the rest of the world hasn't really accepted it. So sending a message of love and acceptance is important. Another thing, and this is a bit of a game. Name a single other superhero from the top of your head that is explicitly canon LGBT and is a lead in a TV or movie. Even with Marvel's enormous multi-platform success, I doubt you can do that. Perhaps the only one that might come to mind would be Deadpool or Captain Marvel, and even they aren't explicitly said to be so. We know as the audience that Deadpool is pansexual and that Captain Marvel might be a lesbian in the next movie, but it hasn't been stated in the movie itself. What about Sarah Lance, you ask? No doubt, she is bisexual and a lead, which, yay! However, compare that to the plethora of so many other straight heroes. Even if you add all the minor or implied LGBT characters, there are less LGBT superheroes than there are characters in the first Avengers movie. Something else that they say is, I don't know where they are going with this storyline. And my answer to that is, very politely, Batwoman is gay. Deal with it. That's it. That's the whole point. Batwoman is a woman. She's a lesbian, and she's a superhero. Not every single thing has to have an overarching narrative or subtle subtext that only the smartest can notice. LGBT people shouldn't have to explain their existence or their importance, just like straight people don't. People just are. Now, here is a quaint complaint level against Batwoman. She never does anything. She never catches any criminals and lets Alice go every time. This is literally something I've heard on YouTube, not even paraphrasing. So you're telling me that Batwoman is a lot like Batman, who despite all his years of training hasn't ever actually stopped crime in Gotham? Like that? At least Alice was Kate's twin sister. Joker is no one to Batman other than a reminder of his own darkness. Mind you, I have nothing against the Joker or Batman other than the obvious. I think that they're brilliant characters. But to compare Joker to Alice is completely ridiculous. Alice was a little girl who was kidnapped, locked up, and tormented by a terrible father looking for a friend for his son because of the son's disfigurement. While the Joker, according to the most popular theory, was a comedian who wasn't funny and got thrown into acid and came out the other side with a smile. How in the world are they even remotely comparable? I should mention that the Joker movie is its own thing and it doesn't have to do anything with the Batman universe other than sharing a name. Arthur Fleck is not the Joker. To conclude, do I think that Batwoman is a Shakespearean piece of media that makes you think deeply about the meaning of life and whatnot? No. Does it have to be? No. Does that make it bad? No. Yes, the first season has been a bit wobbly in places, but that happens to almost every show in its first season while it's trying to figure itself out. Doesn't make it bad. Do I think that certain people are making a bigger deal out of the mistakes than they should? Yes. This show wasn't made for the #cis white male demographic, just like Captain Marvel wasn't. Batwoman is for girls and women and the LGBT community. And featuring the lives and difficulties, trials and tribulations as storylines that address its target audience is just how TV shows work. That's what makes them good. Am I right? Leave a comment below about your thoughts on the LGBT and political storylines in Batwoman and Supergirl. Like this video if you agree with what I said, and #ciswhitemen. You are free to dislike this video if you so choose. Sending love. Toodles!